102.7 WMOM 736. Good morning, West Michigan. Chris here with you. And so is Colin DeHaan from Superior Exteriors. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Doing great, Chris. Thanks for having me today. Appreciate it.
And listeners are always going to ask, and so I have to ask the first question, the cowboy hat.
The cowboy hat.
It is your signature, right?
It is. I have a little 40-acre ranch, and love my cowboy hat. So.
Do you have any animals like steer or anything else on that yet?
I got them all coming this spring. Right now, all we have are goats, right? But the chickens, the pigs, the cows will all show up in the springtime.
There you go. You'll be TikToking all the time. Your animals, you see all that.
Right.
No, it's good. Colin DeHaan from Superior Exteriors joining us this morning. And one of the things that we want to talk about over the next couple of minutes is this mild winter that we've had.
Yeah.
And from your experience with home improvement, gutters and shingles and everything that goes along with it, is it from your standpoint? It sounds like you're busier because of the mild winter, right?
Absolutely. Yeah,
and that's a plus. But is it does the up and down effect of an ice storm here and there, a blizzard here and there, a warm up, so on and so forth? Does that take a toll on our homes, or is that good for our homes?
Yeah, so as Michiganders, northern Michiganders, right? Mm-hmm. We love when we're not just in the ice age from December till March, right? We love seeing that sunshine and all that good stuff. But what we don't recognize is the damage that is slowly happening to our house. Because what happens, when it's really cold, that top layer of ground is frozen. Mm-hmm. And when we get these warm days like we've had this last week, that first few inches unthaws, but it's still ice underneath. So that water just kind of sits and is looking for somewhere to go, and it penetrates your house. It starts coming in your foundation. It starts everywhere. It wreaks havoc on your concrete slabs, all that. This up and down trend, and then when it freezes again, right, now we got water, and it starts heave-hoeing everything. Yeah, and that wreaks havoc on your home.
Is there any preventativeness that we can think about or do? I mean, Mother Nature is going to do what it does,
right?
Is there anything that we can do, or is it more of, well, when things improve this spring and summer, that's when we want to be thinking about next winter?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, in the immediate, there's not a ton really that can happen, right? So you're kind of like along for the ride. Yeah, we could put gutter on your home and divert the water to a spot. So if you live on like a bluff or something like that, we can get the water away from the house. But what we really need to be focused on is for next winter, right? Mm-hmm. So we can put gutter on your home, so we're catching all that rain and snow melt off from your roof and diverting it away from the house with drain tile or something to those likes, right? You're not allowed to put it into city sewers anymore, right? They got rid of that a while back, so can't do that nifty trick anymore. But there's plenty of other spots that we can divert water, and we live in beautiful Mason County, right? Some of us have a bunch of clay, but majority of us have sand, right? So we can get the water away to a nice sandy spot and let the earth do its thing.
And you brought up a pretty important note as well, is that so when you're installing gutters and your team is installing gutters, you can't divert that water, that rain-off water, into the sewers there.
Right.
Is there some reasons behind that or not?
Yeah, I wish I knew.
Okay.
Because in my brain, right, they clean our sewage water, right? Why can't they clean the rainwater too? But I'm sure there's some scientific reason that I just have not spent the time studying into why.
No, it's all right. And so when we're diverting that into our yard area, you guys are looking at the best approach for that too.
Right.
Okay, do you look at, this area has more clay, or this is an area that is not used much? What is that like, so that we don't have these big piles of water?
That's a really good question, Chris. So we look at a couple different things. One, we don't want to divert water to a hill that runs back towards your home, right? Because then the water's just going to come back towards your house. Yeah. So that's like number one that we look for. Then we look for a spot where we can divert it where it'll go out, and then the earth will take it down a hill, right? Away from the home. We want to do that, but also in that situation, we need to make sure that the existing hill isn't just dirt, because it'll just erode, right? We got to have some vegetation there, or rocks or something like that, right? So we look for that. Ditches are really nice to drain everything into, right? So just looking to really get the water away from the house is our main objective.
We're talking with Colin DeHaan from Superior Exteriors this morning, and again with the mild winter, but then also getting blasted by an ice storm and a blizzard back in December. With the ice storm and gutters, should homeowners have any concerns in regards to that?
Yeah.
And is it based on technology this day versus? I mean, because we do have a lot of older homes with gutters,
Of course.
But is there ice built up that we should be worried about?
Yeah. So as far as like the gutter portion of it goes, really the only damage you're going to see in your gutter from the ice storm would be if a tree branch fell or something like that, right? Your gutter's pretty solid and doesn't get affected by the gutter or by the ice and the water too much, right? Your roof is definitely something that you should be looking at, because in that ice storm we also had a decent amount of wind. When that ice hits those shingles, right, and then the wind hits it, they do a little fluttering and they can crack and break and all that good stuff, and then you won't know that it's leaking for a month or so until water starts coming in your house. So,
and speaking of that, when you're replacing shingles, and again, I'm clueless. I don't get up on a ladder on top of my home or anything like that. But when you're replacing shingles, are you able to replace just a couple of shingles at a time, or if a homeowner sees there's some damage there, is that going to be a big project for them?
Yeah. So that's actually the great debate in the roofing industry.
Okay.
So yes, the short answer is yes. You can replace a couple shingles. The long answer is no.
Okay.
So as a professional, right, we don't want to go up there and replace a couple shingles, because what happens, you have to loosen up all the other shingles around it. And once you break that seal, you can hand seal it and stuff, but you're never going to get the seal that it was intended to have from manufacturer, right? So our company policy is we only replace that entire slope.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Because there's too many other factors, right? I mean, we just had a call yesterday. A customer really wanted us to put a second layer of shingles on, and we won't do that for multiple reasons. One being you're trapping a bunch of really old product underneath existing shingle or underneath the new shingles.
Okay.
You've got really old underlayment, but also it creates your roof is actually breathing at all times of day. And it's really important to allow that to happen. And when you stack layers of shingles on top of each other, you're creating a really bad moisture problem. And we had it actually on one of my good friend's houses this year, where we tore off his roof that had 2 layers on it, and there was mold everywhere.
Wow.
And and he had 2 young kids in the home, and it's like, hey, we got to take care of this, right? And that was a bill that nobody was expecting on the project, right?